Hi, friends. Welcome to Mindful Chatting. I want to start off by asking you a question. Have you ever had a moment where someone complimented you and your immediate reaction was, if only you knew? If only you knew how much I struggle. If only you knew how overwhelmed I am. If only you knew how much I'm making this up as I go. If only you knew how unsure I feel. Because I think there are a lot of people walking around with strange contradictions. They're objectively capable, but they don't feel capable. And that gap, well, that gap affects everything. It's how you make decisions, how you show up in your relationships, how you pursue opportunities that are presented to you, and how you trust yourself. Today, I want to talk about that gap, but don't worry, we're going to unpack this together.
Welcome to Mindful Chatting, a podcast where therapy meets real life. I'm Kristen, a therapist, business owner, and a lifelong student of what it means to fully show up in our relationships, in our work, and in our healing. Here, we unpack mental health concepts, explore mindfulness tools, and talk through the messy, beautiful, in-between moments that shape us. Whether you're a fellow clinician, a curious listener, or someone navigating your own growth, this space is for you. Let's chat.
Have you ever noticed that capability and confidence don't always grow together? You can have all the degrees, experiences, beautiful accomplishments, your expertise, and a lot of evidence, and still feel really uncertain, still feel behind, still feel like you're waiting for someone to discover you're not actually as capable as you think you are. That's what makes imposter syndrome so confusing because it often shows up in people who are objectively doing really well. The loudest self doubt often exists in rooms where capability has already been proven. So, why does evidence not always create this belief? And this is the part that I don't think people are talking about. We assume that more success equals more confidence. But that's not always true because confidence isn't built from accomplishments alone. It's built from interpretation. You can accomplish something and think, I earned that, or I got lucky. You can receive praise and think, I worked really hard, or they don't really know me. The same evidence, but just totally different narratives of these different stories.
Okay, quick pause. Because you've ever found yourself rewinding this episode like 3 times because your brain just drifted, this is for you. I hear this all the time. I can focus, just not when I actually need to. And that's exactly what the focus course is about. Because here's the truth. ADHD isn't a lack of attention, it's a regulation issue, which is why some days you're locked in for hours and other days you're rereading the same sentence wondering what just happened. So inside my executive functioning focus course, I break this down in a way that actually makes sense for you. We go through how your attention works in your brain, your specific focus patterns, why you get distracted externally and internally, and how to actually build a system that helps you stay on track and come back when you drift. Because the goal isn't perfect focus, it's knowing how to return without spiraling. So if you're tired of blaming yourself and you just want something that actually works with your brain, I'll link the focus course in the show notes. All right, let's get back to this episode.
I think this is especially common for ADHD women because many ADHD women have lived with inconsistent performance. Sometimes we're brilliant, focused, productive, creative, and then just other times we're overwhelmed, forgetful, behind, disorganized because performance fluctuates. Identity gets confused. And so you start asking things like, which version is the real me? The high performing version or the struggling version? And that uncertainty makes self trust really difficult. So, I want to talk about how I felt I could never go back to school. I thought this was just me, just being the therapist. And especially when I opened my private practice and I was doing it on my own, oh my gosh, did imposter syndrome and my capability rear its ugly head. Because here I was doing it, and I thought, I must be doing something wrong. There's no way that I'm actually doing it. And I would sit up for nights Googling all the things, thinking that I forgot something, thinking that I wasn't doing this correct, when realizing, no, maybe I was actually doing this. And then I said, what else could I do? And that's what kind of expanded my ability to go back to school. And guess what? My imposter syndrome reared its ugly head. Here I was sitting in a classroom with early 20-year-olds, and I'm in my 40s. And I'm like, whoa, what am I doing here? I missed the boat. Maybe I should have gone to school a lot sooner. I can't believe I'm going back for my PsyD in midlife. But then I realized as I was doing the coursework and I was doing the thing that I know I'm good at, a lot of things came easier. And the people that I thought that I had to be judged were looking to me for support. And I was like, whoa, this is crazy. How could they be looking at me? When I think about going into my practicums and doing different things that I'd never done before, I would fail and make mistakes and go, oh my gosh, I'm not ready for this. This is not me. I'm an old horse trying to do new tricks, right? But after a while, I got the hang of it. And I learned that maybe this wasn't easy because it was new. It was a new skill set that I had to learn, regardless of my age and my experience and my confidence and my capacity. And guess what? Courses and podcasting was the same thing. Here I was thinking, oh my gosh, how do I do this? My imposter syndrome would rear its ugly head and go, are you sure that you know what you're talking about? And so I just had to keep going for it. You have to start to lean into your fear. Your fear is data. Your fear is information going, this is scary. That doesn't always mean that you shouldn't keep doing it. It means that this is a path. This is an opportunity. And you can either shy away from it or you can lean into it. And when everyone else may see capability and may see success on the outside, you may see uncertainty within you. But I want you to recognize that that's fear, and you can decide what to do with that fear.
If you're listening to this and thinking, this is exactly what I struggle with, I want you to know that I built something specifically for you. The EF, or Executive Functioning Activation course, walks you through why task initiation feels so hard with your ADHD and how to actually get yourself moving without shame, pressure, or burnout. It's short, practical, and designed for ADHD brains, not productivity culture. If starting is your biggest barrier, this course gives you structure, language, and tools that actually work for you. You'll find the link in the show notes.
I want to talk about external validation as a temporary solution. This is where I think people get really stuck. They start chasing reassurance, more praise, more achievements, more proof. But the problem with external validation is that it expires. You feel better for a moment, and then the doubt comes back because the issue wasn't the evidence. The issue was the trust, and it was the trust within yourself. You can collect accomplishments forever and still feel like a fraud if you never learn to actually trust yourself. So let's talk about what self-trust actually looks like for you. Self-trust isn't believing you'll never fail. It's believing you'll be okay if you do fail. And I want you to think about that again. Self-trust is not I'll always get it right. It's I can handle it if I don't get it right. That changes everything because how confidence isn't dependent on perfection. It's dependent on your resilience to failures and mistakes. So, this is what I want to think about when we think about planning, because planning requires a lot of self trust. Every time you create a plan, you are making an assumption that future me will be able to handle the plan that you created. But if you don't trust yourself, planning becomes really scary because every unfinished task feels like more evidence, evidence that you can't follow through, evidence that you'll disappoint yourself again, or evidence that you shouldn't trust yourself. And that's why planning often becomes emotional, not logistical. So start small than you think when you're rebuilding your trust. Stop making promises that you'll actually rescind. Stop creating plans your nervous system already knows are unrealistic. Start creating tiny little agreements to yourself because self trust grows the same way trust grows in relationships: consistency, not intensity. So let's talk about the self-trust loop that we kind of get caught up in, but I want to talk about it from how do we create it. So we have to first make a realistic commitment to ourselves. We have to follow through on that commitment. We have to notice that this is evidence that I'm able to follow through, and then we repeat it. tiny little promises repeated over and over again. And guess what? If you fail on that commitment, it is not evidence that you are failure. That is shame. All it is evidence is that the commitment probably wasn't realistic for you in that capacity of you. It doesn't mean it's impossible or unrealistic at all. It was just your energy that week. What's going on with you? Maybe it wasn't realistic for you at that time. But guess what? That's okay. You can make a realistic commitment to yourself again and try to build more positive circumstances with you that you can actually do this. I also think personal reflection is really, really important. And action comes first. Evidence comes first, or trust comes first. We think that all of these things should come before confidence. But confidence usually shows up later. And I think a lot of people are waiting to feel confident before they act, when really confidence is about the result of your actions for yourself. You can be fully capable and still not trust yourself. And that gap changes how you show up in absolutely everything in your life. But maybe the goal isn't becoming more capable. Maybe the goal is learning to see yourself a little bit more clearly, because the evidence might already be there and your self concept just hasn't caught up to yourself yet. I want to thank you for joining me. And as always, be gentle with your mind.
One more thing before you go, and this helps me personally, staying present and grounded, which we all need, especially when your brain wants to spiral into disconnection. Me too. It's Brain FM. It's musically designed to help ADHD brains, well, really anyone's brain, focus, relax, or sleep, and I use it almost daily. If you want to try it, I've dropped my link in the show notes. And if you're looking for planning tools or ADHD-friendly resources, I'll keep a list of my favorite links in every episode.